highway took me to. The forgotten highway had always been a subject of fascination in my family. Growing up, I heard tales of its ghost towns and the secrets they harbored, stories that seemed too enthralling to simply be forgotten by time. As a documentary filmmaker, I knew this highway, with its string of desolate towns and unexplained mysteries, was my next project. I needed to capture these stories, to weave together the strands of truth and legend that had been left to decay along its crumbling asphalt. The journey began at dawn, my camera equipment packed tightly in the trunk of my car, the road stretching out before me like a ribbon through the wild, overgrown landscapes. The first town appeared just as the sun crested the horizon, its buildings silhouetted against the lightening sky. It was as if the town was waking from a long slumber, summoned by the hum of my car's engine. As I walked its deserted streets, the silence was palpable. Each step kicked up whispers of dust, the abandoned homes and shops, casting long shadows across the pavement. I filmed everything: the peeling paint on the old general store, the rusty swings swaying slightly in the gentle morning breeze, the faded welcome sign at the town's entrance, promising prosperity and growth. Here, the first mystery took shape: the mass disappearance of 1923, when the entire population vanished overnight, leaving behind homes full of belongings as if they'd be right back. The next towns each had their own tales. One was haunted by the legend of a spectral train that still ran through the town at midnight, its whistle a mournful cry that echoed through the empty streets. Another town was known for its unexplained lights seen floating over the old mill, where a disastrous fire claimed several lives in the 1950s. With each stop, I interviewed the few remaining residents, piecing together oral histories, their voices a tapestry of pride, regret, and eerie acceptance of their surroundings. My days blurred into nights filled with reviewing footage and scribbling notes, my mind racing to connect the dots. Patterns began to emerge in the stories I collected, dates of disappearances aligning with local disasters, sightings of ghosts coinciding with anniversaries of tragedies. It was as if the towns themselves were sentient, remembering their past, demanding to be remembered by the living. The deeper I delved, the more personal the journey became. I found myself drawn not just to the stories, but to the spirits of these places. Each town seemed to hold a piece of a larger puzzle, and I was the one putting it back together, restoring memory to places forgotten by time. But as I ventured further along the highway, the weight of the untold and unresolved began to settle around me like a fog. I could feel the gaze of unseen watchers from behind curtainless windows, hear the whisper of voices in the crackle of my nightly campfires. The line between observer and participant blurred, my dreams filled with faces of people I had never met, calling me to remember them, to tell their stories. One evening, as I reached what would be my final stop, I set up my camera to capture the sunset over an old bridge rumored to be a place where several had vanished into thin air. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the world into shades of purple and grey, I felt a chill that didn't come from the evening breeze. Looking through my viewfinder, I saw them, figures at the edge of the bridge, transparent yet unmistakable, their outlines shimmering with the last light of day. They were the missing, the ones whose stories I had chased, gathered as if to watch their tale being told. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I watched the footage over and over, my heart heavy with a mix of fear and sadness. As dawn broke, I packed up my gear with a profound sense of urgency, driven to share what I had seen, to validate these forgotten souls with the proof of their existence. The film, when it was finally released, told not just of history and mystery, but of a deeper, more poignant truth about the human need to be remembered, to have our stories told and retold, especially those that skirt the edges of the unexplainable. I never returned to the forgotten highway, but it never really left me. In the quiet moments, I can still hear the faint whistle of the spectral train, see the ghostly figures on the bridge, and feel the gaze of those unseen watchers. The highway had given me its stories, and in return, it had taken a piece of me, weaving me into its lore, another soul caught in its endless web of memory and mystery. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, like, share, and subscribe for more unexplained mysteries and forgotten tales.